David is our education learning specialist from Figma, and he's going to kick it off with a FigJam 101 session. So thanks for being here today, David.
Awesome. Of course. Of course. Now, a couple things. Thank you, Jen, for the introduction. A couple housekeeping things on my end is we are going to be jumping into a FigJam file today. So today's training is going to be interactive. I have sat through, I'm a teacher of 10 years. I sat through a lot of PD, a lot of it not awesome. You'll be the judge if this PD is any good. But I do want to say that for me, and I think for a lot of us, learning with our hands and just playing with the tool is probably the best way to learn. So we're going to do just that. And I want you to know, I don't have a presentation for you today. You're not going to be sitting just watching me talk or listening to me talk. That's so boring. We're going to be jumping into a file. I also want to say from the get-go, I want this to be as conversational as possible. I do not have a specific time at the end for Q&A. So with that, please add your questions in the chat. I sometimes miss the chat, so please also feel free to come off of mute at any time and just say, hey, David, do you mind double clicking on this? Or do you mind, saying that in a different way? Or I have a question about this. Please feel free to come off of mute. You don't have to ask or even raise your hand, though we make our students do that. Okay, awesome. Well, let's go ahead and jump in. I am going to share my screen. Also, Jen, do you want this recorded?
It already is.
Oh, nice. Well, Jen, I'm going to triple say this. You are the best. Everyone knows this in the chat too. Sweet. Let's all get famous here. This is going viral, folks. All right. So let me go ahead and share my window here. I'm not used to Google Meets. Can you see a file right now?
Yes.
That says, okay. I think I figured it out. Awesome. So I am right here in a FigJam file. And what I'm going to be doing is this FigJam file, I'm actually going to drop in a couple of spaces. I'm going to drop this in the chat. I believe, Jen, can I pin? I can pin something, can't I? Of course I can. Jen invented that feature in Google. No, maybe not, but Jen is awesome. Probably would have. So there's a bit.ly link. You can type in bit.ly/FigJamFam, or you can click on the link and then simply sign in with Google. Once you are in this file, this takes a couple of minutes to get everybody in the file. And just a heads up, I see about 28 people on the Google Meets call. That's including me. And we'll go ahead and get started once we have around upwards of 25 or so folks in the file. Once you're here, something to please do at first is if you could click on this link. This is actually a card right here that I am spinning around, or let's actually light it on fire because that's always fun. If you could click on this little Google form and sign into today's training. This is a different sign in than what Jen is having you do. This sign is not as fun because you don't get money from it. You do not get money. However, you do get swag. You do get swag. We do like to send swag to folks who, well, as my team jokes, that they bear with me for an hour. But I like to say that it's just a thank you for attending today's session. And we also know that teachers just love swag. So there's a little link. It's a card. It's a little confusing. I'll be talking about these cards and how links actually become cards. Feel free to click on the Google Doc or just the image of the Google Doc, and you'll be on that Google form. Also, don't feel like you have to take notes today. Some of you are also in a car, so don't feel like you have to take notes while moving around in the vehicle as well. I am going to be sending you all of the resources from today's training, and you can access those, and I'll be emailing you if you fill out this form with those resources. Okay. So it looks like we got about 23 people in the FigJam file. We got about 23 people or 28 people in the call. If there's anybody having trouble getting to this file, please let me know in the chat or come off of mute. I think we're waiting for about 4 more people. If you're expecting just to be view only, you can also just view today's session. But if you're in the file, you are good to go. Okay. Once you're in the file, and then June, you said it's not opening for you. June, I'll send you another link and try this one. And then Sarah and June, go ahead and try this link that I'm sending in the chat. Try that one. If that one does not work, maybe try the bit.ly link that you see on the screen. And if that doesn't work, we'll just kind of have you be on view only today, and which you can still get a lot out of it and you can interact in the chat. But let me know, June and Sarah, if that is resolved or if the issue continues. Okay, awesome. We've been here for 10 minutes together. We got 50 more minutes, and some of you are like, 50 minutes with this guy? Goodness gracious. Okay, so 49 minutes I'll put on the timer. This timer is right inside of FigJam, helps keep me on track. You can see it in your tab as well. Okay, if you could, a few things is click on follow in the top of your screen. So go to the very top of your screen, you'll see that there's a follow option. And when you click follow, no need to click anything else. I'll kind of be your guide and moving you through today's activity. Okay, or we actually have a whole bunch of activities. If you could take your cursor and place it on what option most closely represents you. What option here most closely represents you? I heard some of y'all's roles in the chat. Looks like we got team teacher in the house is represented. Awesome. And it does look like we have quite a bit of anonymous users, which is okay. If you could make sure that you're signing in with Google. If you do not see a Google sign in option, if you could click refresh on your browser, and you should see an option to sign in with Google. I believe it's in the top right of your screen. Go ahead and try that now, and we'll see if we can get a few more folks. Also, just like Jessica and a couple others are seeing, you are probably seeing that you are on view only, and there is a prompt to ask to edit. I will be giving you editing access in about 8 minutes, but do know that that editing access is not revoked, but it's just not allowed right now because we're going to be getting you through a couple of resources first. Okay, awesome. Sweet. Well, it looks like we are almost ready to go. I still see that we have about 6 anonymous users. That means that you have not signed in with Google yet. Also, if you have this FigJam file open in multiple tabs, please close all of them but one. That'll just let me know that we have enough people in today's session. Again, if you have FigJam file, this one opened in multiple tabs, please go and X out of all of them but one. Okay, giddy up. Let's get going. All right, if you could click follow in the file and follow me over to a little intro area where I'll be introducing myself, although I already feel like we're family and we already have banter about colleges, which is fun. Go ahead and click the follow button in the top of your screen and you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me introduce myself. I'm David. I've been a teacher for the last 10 years. I started off teaching 3rd grade and taught every grade level, 3rd grade through 8th grade. So got moved around a lot and actually it's turned out to be great because now I'm the education learning specialist where I get to take all those grade levels, all that experience and work with teachers like you that cover a lot of K-12. And I've been here for just over a year. I've been here for just over 12 months here at Figma. I still feel very new to Figma. And I also miss my students over here who are on the right so much that I still volunteer and substitute at their school. Okay, now fun little, this is an impromptu warm up I don't normally do, but grab your cursor and place it over one of my former students' faces, depending on, or just to represent, how are you feeling today? Which kid's face really resonates with how you're feeling? I think we got Jen, maybe you're excited or in pain with this kid on the right. I can't quite tell. Yeah, you just gotta love, a 6th grader's smile. We got, Tara and Jessica, they're just smiling. We got Aaron and Jason who feel maybe a little mischievous or tired. I like that. These are my former students and they are just so fun. They're actually the reason I work here at Figma is they kept asking to use Figma during the pandemic when I was teaching. And they're the ones that showed me this really cool tool that they kept asking for. So to be honest with you, today's professional development is brought to you by 12-year-olds knowledge. So that's how I learned Figma. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on. And let's talk about today's learning objectives. Today's learning objective, who doesn't love a good learning objective other than the teacher? We're going to talk about FigJam for classroom use. Now, you can use a lot of things for FigJam, but we're going to talk about how you could use this with students. So if you are in a role that's directly with students, awesome. If you're in a role that supports teachers who are with students, awesome. Or if you're in a role that's kind of a little bit higher up in the district, but you do work and kind of have hands and eyes on different curriculum, awesome. You're in the right spot. What we're going to do is we are going to get you into the file with a little overview. Then we're going to give you editing access. And I want you to know that once you get editing access, the only thing I want you to do is play. Play, play, play. Now, I know I learn best and I actually work best when I'm in a state of play. So I'm going to be maybe poking fun at some of y'all. We're going to be, hopefully, not too deeply, but we're going to be having fun. And I want you to know that anything that you mess up or delete is part of the process. Don't feel like this is a pristine, polished, crystal glass presentation. It's just a playground of things that we're going to do today. So I'm just super glad that you're here. and treat today's training just like that. Stay curious, stay creative, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Okay, go ahead and click follow. And I'm going to caution you because what we're about to do is out of order and goes against everything I believe about using FigJam, which is this. We are about to use FigJam in the most advanced way, which is using it as if we were a whole class. We got about 28 people in this file. This would be the equivalent to you having never used a tool before and learning it with your students at the same time. Also, that is pure chaos. So don't do this to yourself or encourage others. What I'm going to say is when using FigJam with students, have them in their own files, learning the tools by themselves, going slow. Then after a while, and this is great kind of best practice for any tech tool, then have them in a small group where they're practicing maybe an activity they're familiar with the collaborative process. Then after you see that as successful, then try what we're about to do today, which is the most advanced way to use FigJam, everyone together. Also, you will see that there is the ability to ask for editing access. I'll be giving you editing access in just a couple minutes. Okay, go ahead and follow me to the next frame. And this is me introducing what FigJam is. Now, we're in a FigJam board right now. And FigJam boards are online digital whiteboards that get students excited about learning, foster deeper collaboration, and build up creative thinking skills. Now, there are 4 things that I saw that were absolutely amazing about FigJam when I used it for 2 years with students. I want you to take your cursor and hover over which one of these 4 are you most hopeful to learn about today. Is it the ability to amplify student voice in FigJam, make learning visual in FigJam, build class community, or give kids a chance to build industry standard skills? So I can see, and also, yeah, feel free if you want to like dance between 2 of them, that's totally fine. I see that Tara, Tannen, and Joyce and a couple others are really excited about amplifying student voice. I hope to amplify your voice today as well. Someone is doing like the cha-cha slide across all of the sticky notes. I like that. The FigJam salsa, we might call it. June and Kurt, Julie, and a couple others, really hopeful to learn about making learning visual. I hope I can show you that today. We'll definitely be testing that out. Susanna and Sarah and a couple others about building class community. I also hope that we can build community today and also feel a little more connected, though we might be hundreds of miles apart. And awesome. Let's go ahead and let's continue on. Now, I'm going to go through lickety-split a couple of examples of how I've seen FigJam being used, and then we're going to jump into the tool and give you editing access. Just a heads up, there is a play button on each one of these images. It's actually an animated GIF. You can click on the image in the very center as I'm talking through that example to see it in real time. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. The first example that I'd like you to check out is using FigJam for collaborative book reviews or anything ELA related. I saw in the chat today, we got some folks that are in charge of ELA or that help support and coach. This is an example of a couple students doing a book review, or I should say a book chapter recap together in FigJam, where they're taking each chapter, writing the summary, and then voting on or sharing their thoughts and views. So we're seeing a lot of collaboration in ELA classes. Next, also, if you don't see what I'm talking about, just click follow on the top of your screen. You'll be brought to where we are. Next, we're seeing history teachers bring in their students to FigJam to create dynamic timelines of events, plot out characters or connections between folks in history classes. So this is really fun. And I'm actually going to be showing you this exact student example later on in today's training. Next, we're seeing FigJam being used in science classes. We're seeing science teachers bring in blank diagrams and giving kids a chance to diagram and show their concepts in visual ways that's a little bit more easily understood than just reading a textbook. The last example I'm going to show you today is using FigJam in the math class. And this is really what I got excited about, was how can we bring more language? How can we bring more visualization into tooling when kids are working with math? And we're seeing this with teachers bringing in math manipulatives, PNGs, and having kids work together to solve problems side by side. All right. So now's the time where I'm about to give you editing access. But before we do, I want to show you how to navigate a FigJam board because it's a little different. Now, imagine you're in your classroom or in a classroom setting, and there's a big old wall that's just a massive whiteboard. Think of that in a digital version, and you're in FigJam. So the first thing we're going to practice is zooming in and out. But first, I want to hear from folks. I'm going to collect some data here really quick, some informal assessment. And I have 2 sticky notes right here. One is for Team Mouse and one is for Team Trackpad. Go ahead and put your cursor over. Are you Team Mouse or are you Team Trackpad today? What do you got, folks? What do you got? Ooh, we got a couple folks, Team Mouse, Team Trackpad. Looks like a good even split. Now, this is really nice for me. Imagine you're a teacher. You want to get a quick pulse check on how kids are feeling or what tooling they're using. I can do that right away in FigJam because I can see your cursors. Just a pro tip, you can't see the name on your cursor, but you see everyone else's names, by the way. Okay, so for our mouse folks, go and do a little dance over here, my mouse folks. Grab your mouse and go ahead and shake it around. Julie, nice, awesome, awesome. So to zoom in and out, mouse folks, you're going to use the command or the control key on your keyboard and use the wheel of your mouse to scroll forwards and backwards. If that is not working, you can do the plus and minus buttons in the bottom of your screen. Now, my trackpad folks, let's see some noise. Go ahead and take your cursors, dance around. Okay, wow. Some of you have been practicing. My goodness. Trackpad folks, go ahead and pinch and pull on your trackpad. Pinch to zoom in, pull to zoom out, or depending on your trackpad navigations, that's how you zoom in and zoom out. I love it. All right, trackpad folks, you're winning in the dance contest. All right, my mouse folks, where are you at? Mouse folks, go and navigate back to this little purple sticky note or click follow button on your screen. You'll be brought to where I am. All right, so now I know to zoom in and out. Let's practice panning around the canvas, going left, right, up, and down. So for my mouse folks, hold the space bar and click. My mouse folks, hold space bar and click. Awesome. Trackpad folks, so you click left, click right, click up, click down. Trackpad folks, take 2 fingers, swipe left, swipe right, swipe up, swipe down. And now you're zipping around the FigJam canvas faster than a hummingbird on espresso. All right, now practice that in unison. Practice zooming out and then look at everything on our FigJam board and then practice zooming really far out and getting lost. Get lost in the FigJam board. All right, get lost. And now click the follow button and be brought back to where you're supposed to be. Okay, click the follow button. All right, follow button, awesome. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is if you could grab your cursor and hover it over one of these sticky notes. Just take one sticky note and hover it over. I'm about to give you editing access, okay? Hope you're ready. So hover over a sticky note, and what we're about to do is you're gonna practice zooming in, seeing the sticky note a little more clearly, double-clicking the sticky note to type in what your first job was. Now, I've not given you editing access yet. You're about to get it. So the prompt here is this. What was your first teaching job? Write a quick sentence. Don't make it any longer. For me, my first teaching job was I was a surf instructor. And I know it wasn't a classroom position, but it really inspired me to become a teacher working and teaching kids 4 through 8 how to surf. Alrighty, I'm going to go to the share settings. I'm going to make this an open session. And right now you can zoom into one of those sticky notes. Go ahead and zoom in and double click on a sticky note and type in what your first teaching job was. Maybe you were the neighborhood nanny. Maybe you taught horseback riding. Maybe you were a lifeguard. I'm not sure. Maybe you taught swim lessons. But go ahead and double click into a sticky note. And actually, I like to zoom in to see it a little bit better. Also, if you accidentally add something or remove something from the canvas, use Control Z or Command Z on your keyboard. Awesome. Susanna, love hearing that. I'm going to be reading some of these out. Aaron, awesome. Once you've written your response, zoom out and look at what other people have written. And again, if you accidentally add something to the canvas, totally fine. This is a playground. This is a sandbox. You'll also see the sticky notes. If you're lost in the file, go ahead and click on the follow button and you'll be brought to where I am. And then you can zoom in and double click on a sticky. Once you've written yours, go ahead and zoom out and read some other colleagues or folks that you might know and maybe be surprised, maybe learn something about somebody. Awesome. Also, I have given pre-existing sticky notes on the canvas. Feel free if you want to add your own, but there are some that I've set up in a little grid. All right, let's go and hear a couple of folks. Kimberly, my first teaching job was teaching French at 3 middle schools. Wait, Kimberly, 3 different middle schools? Did you have to like travel between them? Oh my gosh, that is crazy. We got June over here, middle school ELD teacher. Teach Chinese to American kids in China. No way. Roy Yuan, where in China? I'm really curious. You can feel free to add another sticky note or another point on there. Ooh, we got Jason was a K2 paraeducator. Kim was a camp counselor. Oh, camp counselor Kim. We got to, just kind of the alliteration has to continue. I love that. Ooh, Kara was a lifeguard. We got, Joyce was a Sunday school teacher. I love that. So fun. Jennifer, I taught kindergarten in Harrison Park. Nice. Second grade at MLK Junior Elementary School in DC, Aaron. Oh, so fun. This is great. I love it. Now, what's cool about this is we can start. Wait, hold on. Lisa, teaching needlepoint stitches. Amazing. Lisa, incredible. I'm sure you're really refined with the details. And then also, I think Kurt said you taught ESL in Japan. Oh my gosh, Kurt, this is so rad. Now, what's cool about this is what we could have done is I could have said, okay, everybody, you're going to come off of mute. You're going to say what your first teaching job was, and we're going to hear from everyone all at once. And that would have taken the rest of our 33 minutes that are precious. But what I'm able to do in FigJam, and you can do this in really a lot of other tools. I, as a former teacher, I'm always going to push process over product. Yes, I'm showing you the product. But what I want to share is that this is giving everyone an equal playing field, a low floor entry to share their thoughts. Imagine if you were to run a KWL chart in FigJam with sticky notes, or maybe a T chart just asking what you know or don't know, or describing two different things. There's a lot you can do with FigJam to really create a space where everyone's voice can be heard. This is what we were talking about earlier about amplifying student voice. And you'll notice that your names are on each sticky. I don't know about you. My kids always forgot their names on stuff. I love that FigJam automatically adds the kid's name on the FigJam sticky note when they start typing. All right. Awesome. Go ahead and click. This is our warm-up, folks, and you did fantastic. You did fantastic. Go ahead and click the follow button, and I'm going to move us to another activity. While you're doing that, I will let you know that using sticky notes is probably the best way to capture ideas and thoughts really quickly in the FigJam canvas or on the FigJam board when you are using it with kiddos. Imagine like a staff meeting where you could hear from everyone instead of like the open mic night staff meetings that were kind of what my team was like. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create two different blob activities here, and we're going to practice using stamps. Now, stamps are in your toolbar. Your toolbar is down the bottom of your page. The stamps are the fourth icon in the kind of center of your toolbar. There's four little squares. There's a stamp icon, and there's a little further stamp icon. Grab one stamp and then plop it on the blob that describes how you're doing. How are you doing right now? Do you feel like you are falling like number 14 because it's October and you still have no idea what you're teaching, or you just got switched to a new grade level or position? Do you feel like me? I stamped number 1 because we are sleep training and potty training, and just the toddler life is real right now. I'm barely hanging on, but at least I'm close to the ground. So go ahead and grab a stamp. Stamps, again, are down in the toolbar of your FigJam board. Imagine like if you had a physical whiteboard, you'd have that little shelf. Same with that in FigJam. Now, just a heads up, folks, I can hover over any one of these stamps, and I can see Mahara. Wow, you had a lot of different stamps here on number 9. When I hover over a stamp, I can see who the contributor of that stamp is, which is a really nice feature. Also, I see some people adding shapes. I'll just kind of move these shapes over to the left. That's totally fine to add shapes. Like I said, this is a place to play, but do know that these shapes over here are a little bit different than our stamps. Stamps are in the middle of the toolbar. Oh, and then you're adding in, I think Kimberly's adding a shape saying that you're sick. But you're here, Kimberly. So I love what Kimberly's doing, by the way. I did not ask Kimberly or even tell Kimberly how to further communicate how you were feeling, but you learned how to do just that. This is how my students, and why they loved using FigJam, was because they found a lot of ways to connect with each other and further communicate. All right, let me call on a couple of folks. Jen, you voted for number 15. You're kind of in the tree, tucked up at the top. Jen, can you come off of mute, Jen Hopkins, and let us know why did you choose 15?
I think I just like, I don't know, I that one resonated with me, I think, because I've been learning a lot. So I'm kind of like hanging on to all the stuff that I've been learning, but still trying to like figure it all out. So just kind of just sitting there and digesting it all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for sharing. We'll call on two more. Let's go for Julie Pedersen. You are falling out of the tree, Julie. Can you let us know why are you falling? How are you doing? How can we help you? And then feel free if you want to type in the chat your response. Oh, there you go.
I just thought it was funny.
You got, yeah,
And
I know.
I probably would fall out of the tree if I was up there.
I love it. I love it. Yes, yes. There's a lot going on here. Now, blobtree.com is great. It's a really fun way to get kids talking, to get them connected to each other. And let's go and hear from one more. Lisa, you put number seven, or at least your question mark's close to number 7. Lisa, do you mind coming off of mute and letting us know why did you choose number 7? How are you?
Sounds like a therapy session. How
I know,
am
right?
I don't know. There's just a lot going on, so I'm holding on for dear life.
Yes, you're holding on. But good thing number 6, Joyce McShane is coming for the rescue on your little blob tree. I can see Joyce coming to help. All right. Now this is how I would use FigJam was oftentimes during our SEL or during our advisory prep or our advisory period, I would give kids a chance just to respond. They didn't have, well, I'm forcing you to share out loud, but they could have a chance to just with stamps really quickly respond to a prompt or with a sticker. And it was really fun just to see how much more they started talking in class when they had this very simple activity of just stamping how they were feeling. All right, let's go. And you're doing great, folks. Go ahead and click the follow button and let's go on over to another activity. All right, I can see some folks maybe already been moving things around here. That's great. Like I said, this is a place to play and explore. What we're going to do here is we're going to practice the pen tool, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to zoom out and then zoom in. Zoom in. I want you to draw. The prompt is here. Draw how you further are doing. Again, draw how you're doing based on maybe your last response. If you find that you're still in the stamp tool, that's okay. The pen tool's down in the bottom of your toolbar. There's a pen tool down there. Once you click the pen tool, you'll see that other ink tool options appear. You have highlighter, washi tape, eraser. I always recommend using Control-Z to erase, but go ahead and find a blob, zoom out, find a blob. If you're wondering where we are, go ahead and click the follow button in the top of your screen. Go ahead and click follow, and then zoom into one of those. I think there's like 40 blobs. So zoom into one of those blobs down there. Practice also pro tip. The closer you zoom in, the easier it is to use the pen tool. So go ahead and zoom on in there. The closer you zoom in, the easier it is to draw. And if you're like, wait, where are these blobs? Just go ahead and click the follow button and you can check out where I am. Pro tip is I like to use Control-Z or Command-Z to undo that action. Now, really what we're doing is we're just having fun and we're practicing the drawing tools. One thing is you can actually change the color of the drawing tool, which is pretty fun. Awesome. Oh, nice. We got June over here working with multiple colors. June with the blue eyes. I love it. And the red eyebrows. Nice. And we got, is it Tannen over here drawing it with the hat? I love that. And then I think Jason has just drawn an avocado. Jason, are you drawing an avocado? I'm not sure what this is, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's correct.
I love it.
Definitely an avocado.
Okay, your brain is guacamole. I love
Yes.
it. Mine as well. And Kim over here, like going full body with the dress, the triangle dress. Kim, I love it. Fantastic. And then Jacqueline over here with like the Princess Leia buns. Amazing. Sorry if the Princess Leia buns are offensive. I just think they're epic. Also, one thing, if you accidentally add something or accidentally delete something, just use Control-Z. Jason, I feel like I'm getting a pinch of your personality with the avocado. That is so good. And actually, I'm getting a fun idea. What you could do is draw some like random blobs on the canvas for kids, and their team could, come up. They may have spent 10 minutes drawing and creating these characters out of them and making a story they have to quickly act out. Could be a really fun game. Awesome, folks. Okay, now you might be saying, David, this is a pedagogically very unnecessary process, and you're not wrong. Drawing blobs is not the most advanced thing. But if you could click follow and follow me down to these 2 examples over here that I'd like to show you, or just scroll down yourself. What we have here are 2 examples, and if you accidentally add something on the canvas, just hit Control-Z, totally fine to get those pen strokes on there. Also, if you still see that your cursor is an ink tool, you can hit escape on your keyboard or go down to the toolbar, and the very top left corner of your toolbar is the selection tool to get back there. Here's some examples of teachers who have brought text or images or diagrams into FigJam and had their students highlight. Pro tip on this is if you hold down Shift while highlighting, you can make a straight line. So hold down Shift to highlight, you can make a straight line. Also, you can lock down text. So if I can lock this text so it's not easily moved, I can also lock things down like this image so it's not easily moved, which is pretty nice. All righty. So we've done a lot here. Practice, feel free. If you want to, you can practice highlighting. Tara's over here like, I want to keep drawing my blob character. I don't want to highlight anything on ancient Rome, but I want to show you that you can bring images into FigJam. You can add in PDFs and highlight them, underline them, annotate on them, and it's pretty simple. Also, yeah, I can see people playing with the pen strokes, drawing straight lines. I love, the pen tool is super fun. I'd always have kids that would come in here and kind of draw, what's that thing? The Super S, which I'm doing a very bad job of drawing, but you kind of get my gist. Okay, awesome. I'm going to show you one more tool, and then I'm going to ask you a question. So I want to prompt you. The question I'm going to be asking is, what activity could you create out of the tooling I've already shown you? But before we do that, please go ahead and click the follow button. And if we could all add a stamp and just give some love to whoever added this relaxed potato. This is just amazing. Can we please give this individual some love here by adding a stamp on top of it? This is incredible. Also, please, don't stamp on top of it. No, don't cover the potato, or whoever that person is. Sorry if I'm calling you. No, you're not a potato. But this is now, okay, like where you probably would not want to have all your kids in the file at the same time because you're imagining what they might do. Also, there is a version history in here, so you can go back and see who did what or who changed. Who thumbs down? Tara, are you thumbs downing the potato here? Oh, Tara, remember Tara. Now I can hover over and see who that thumbs down is. Okay, all right. Awesome. And Tara's like, quick, how did he see me? Get me out of here. All righty, go ahead and click follow again. And we're going to move over to another part of the canvas. Now be thinking while I show you this, what could you create? What activity could you make out of everything or out of one of the things I've shown you? All right, quick little check for understanding. Go ahead and click the follow button. I'm going to make a black circle. Go ahead and grab your cursor and pretend like it's a little mouse hole. Go ahead and go towards the mouse hole and just kind of hang out here. Awesome. Now, if you find that your cursor is not a cursor, it's a highlighter or it's a pen tool, go ahead and go back to the selection tool in your toolbar so that you can have that cursor back to select things. Okay. What I'm going to do in front of you is I'm going to demo our shapes and connectors. So here I have an incomplete water cycle. I'm also going to need some help from someone because the fourth item of the water cycle has evaporated from my mind. It is evaporated from my mind. If somebody could double click on the purple rectangle and add some text in there, double click it. And oh my gosh, Joyce, thank you so much. Joyce, you're a joy. And yes, evaporation is it. Also, if a few people could double click on the lines and type in words like the word next or after this or following, double click on the lines here, and you can further show your thinking with adding text to the shapes and connectors. I love it. Okay. This is our shapes and connectors tool inside of FigJam. There's a lot of really cool things you can do with it. Let me show you some examples from direct classrooms. Follow me down by clicking the follow button or scrolling down below. This is where I also encourage, just like a playground, please feel free to rotate things. If you want to rotate a shape, go to the very corner of it. You'll get a bendy arrow. If you want to draw a party hat on FDR, please go ahead and grab that highlighter or pen tool and draw a party hat on Frank FDR. You can also group things if you multi-select and hit Control-G or right-click to group. And you can even change the size or the shape of any of these shapes as well. So lots of cool things you can do. This was a middle school class that I taught. I taught world history, and we were doing a micro study on American history. And I gave kids a chance to draw a Joyce. Yes, get in there with the green. I love it. I gave kids a chance to design a timeline. They had 2 class periods or 2 hours to design a timeline. Some kids went to Canva, some kids went to Adobe, some kids went to Google Slides, and some kids went to FigJam. I wasn't actually a complaint, but my FigJam group finished in 15 minutes, and they had 2 hours to do it. So what was crazy is each kid was assigned, they self-assigned themselves a date, and then they just made the cards, did the research, and in 15 minutes they were done. It was wild. So I found that students and Joyce, this party hat is amazing. I think you could have made 1933 a little more enjoyable by adding some color to the presidential office. All right. Let's go ahead and keep scrolling down. Let's check out a couple of other examples. Again, play with these, move these things around, try typing inside of something, see how it behaves. This is all just a playground for you. These are also some other shapes and connectors that behave a little bit differently. What this was a teacher brought an image in. They brought an image, and then they brought some shapes and connectors and made these cool kind of templatized organizers for kids or diagrams for kids to make. You can even keep scrolling down to see this high school history teacher's example. And I believe they are studying Middle Eastern architecture. So this is, them studying the mosque. I believe, is that the Blue Mosque? I have been to the Blue Mosque. It's a beautiful place. But I have no idea what a narthex is, so I might have to study this. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to practice what I call jamming. Well, we've been jamming for sure. We've been jamming together, but click the follow button and I am going to create a space. We've been working in predefined spaces so far, but I'm going to work with a blank space here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a section, and the section's going to be the color blue. Okay. And this is going to be called check-ins. Let me go ahead and change this to check-in. And I'm going to add a question in here. So the question is going to be this, and it's going to be I'll make it kind of large. What could you build in FigJam? And think about activities, think about lessons, think about what you could design. Grab a sticky note and plop your sticky note down and answer the question, what could you build in FigJam? I've shown you shapes and connectors. I've shown you sticky notes. Now, just a heads up, some people are bringing shapes onto the canvas. The shapes are a little bit different than the sticky notes. The shapes won't have authorship, but they are right next to the stickies. The stickies are the large rectangle next to the pen, highlighter, or washi tape. But feel free to add text in the shape too. That'll also work, Sarah. That's totally fine. Okay, the question is this. What could you build in FigJam? Think about activities you're already doing. Think about the teachers you support or the lessons you plan out. The question's pretty open. And please feel free to add in a couple. Also, try to keep the sticky notes the size they come off the canvas on. Don't scale your sticky notes larger. Just zoom in. Again, practice pinching and pulling. Practice zooming in to see that a little bit bigger. And yeah, what's going to be interesting about FigJam is you are going to be zooming in, zooming out, and moving around. This mimics and mirrors how video games work, where these worlds and lessons and activities and adventures are not limited to like a frame or a 16:9 or 8.5:11. And this is definitely where the world of work is going to. We have a lot of clients, Airbnb, Starbucks, Netflix, that work in FigJam, and they've actually moved away from a lot of more documentation style tools like docs because they like how open this brainstorming can be. Okay, let's go ahead and if you could also grab, once you've added your idea, grab a stamp and add a stamp like a thumbs up, a question mark, if you remember the thumbs down, I can see who that thumbs down is. Okay, remember I got version history too. Go ahead and grab a stamp and add a stamp to someone else's idea that you like, or maybe you have a question about. So this is this is an example right here of an open-ended jam. And if you could hit Control-Z, somebody deleted our board. This is okay. This is totally fine. Perfect. Nice. Sometimes that happens. Imagine you're in like a whole class Google slide. That'll happen. Teaching kids how to, Control-Z is pretty important. Great. Okay, let's go ahead and check some things out here. So Joyce said, notice and wonder charts. And also Kurt and Kim like this as well. Annotating images, student study for wit and wisdom modules. I love that, Joyce. All right, let's see here. We got interactive notebooks, MLL, vocab scaffolds. Also, you'll notice that this is a shape right here, not a sticky note, so I'm not sure who that author was. Ooh, we got June with notice and wonder charts. Also, Kim, Jason, and Kurt liked that idea. We have interactive notebook or response journal. Lisa and Tara and Tannen also like that, Jennifer. I love that idea. Having kids label pictures, diagrams with new vocabulary. Kurt, love that. Fun feedback forms, book reviews, incredible. And what's happening right now is you are literally jamming. You are capturing ideas, you're responding to ideas. And though this process probably seems overwhelming right now because it's maybe your first few minutes in FigJam, Just imagine your students after a couple of weeks, they become familiar to this process. You can get really cool data from kids. What I found is kids started talking more through the stickies than they would maybe initially talk if I just asked a question out loud. I also found that if I had a little board like this that was really open-ended, and kids started stamping their ideas, that kids maybe who were very reluctant to speak out in class were sometimes the first to share. Like imagine just for an example that Kurt, I don't know you personally, Kurt, but let's pretend that Kurt's super shy. And Kurt doesn't want to, stand in front of the class and share out that you have a wonderful idea about labeling pictures and diagrams. But Kurt can see that Tannen, Sarah, Jason, and Kim like Kurt's idea. And that could empower Kurt to maybe share or feel confident that their idea holds value and weight in the class. So I love how kind of revolutionary FigJam was in creating the culture for my students that they kept asking for. And like, imagine like during the pandemic, when I taught middle school, my kids actually came off of mute after jamming together. They actually talked. It was wild. I didn't believe it was happening. Okay. Let's look at a few more. Tannen. Kids can model multi-step math problems. Also, kids could build a model of an eye for science. I personally love that. Sorry, the terrible pun there. My students also hated them. Aaron, reading response journals. We got Sarah. I could use this for math, arrays, fractions, annotations. Yes, Sarah, I love that. I've been working actually, Sarah, with a lot of math teachers. So if you want some one-on-one coaching on math with FigJam, I'd love to help with that. Also, we got fraction models, journals. This is so good. I feel like I always learn so much when talking to teachers about FigJam. You all have just like, you're truly professionals. You have the best ideas. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. I think, I saw there's some stuff in the chat. And I've missed that. So I think we're all caught up though. Okay, sweet. Now, what I'd like to share is, if you would like to, another thing you can do to show your reaction to something is you can click on the stamp, and then the stamp has two options. There's the stamps that you've used. There's also the emotes. The emotes, if you click on the stamps, are the little smiley face. You can click on a smiley face and show how you feel about a certain idea or a certain something by clicking it and holding it down in the FigJam canvas. Emotes are always welcome, so you can share how you're feeling. If you're overwhelmed by how fast I am talking, please feel free to show the sad face. That is always welcome. All right. Lisa is shocked or just overwhelmed by everything we're doing. I know. Now, what's cool, folks, is we've only been in this file for about 40 minutes together, and we've done about 2 hours of work. What I found, and when I led staff meetings at my school and we were in FigJam, we got so much done. We trained on tools. We got feedback from people. We heard from everyone. We responded. We shared out ideas. And the velocity of work we got done, I said that kind of weird, velocity. It's kind of strange. The velocity of work we were able to get done was crazy. So I hope you can also maybe be inspired by that. All right, go ahead and click follow. I have a few more things to show you before we are ending our time. We have 11 minutes left. We're totally on track. Just really quick, Jen, do we have until 15 after? I forgot to look at my calendar.
If we could stop just about 5:13, that would be great.
Yes, perfect. Okay, I'll change my timer for you. Anything for Jen. And I'll put on 8 minutes. There we go. We can do this in 8 minutes. Jen, if you weren't not 8 minutes. I need to do it less. I did my math wrong. Gosh, the math teacher in here David, come on. Okay, let's do 6 minutes. And we'll get that about 10 after. Okay. Phew. Nothing worse than having to calculate time on a timer and looking at the watch and having no idea how to do it. All right. Now, what I want to show you here, folks, is 3 different things. The first one is a link. If you could click on this card right here, it's going to take you to a link of the water cycle. So click on that and you will see that if you're still on a stamp, it's going to have the most recent, and no worries about stamps or connectors. If you are on a highlighter or a stamp or what have you, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and click the escape key or the selection key. Now, what's nice about these cards is that kids can see the website before they click on it. This is really nice because before you could only do blue underlined text for articles. I taught a lot of emerging bilingual students. So if we were studying capybaras, there's no way that student would know what a capybara is, but they might be able to see the picture and say, oh, we're studying cute varmints or whatever that animal is. So I like that when you copy and paste a website that has an image in it, it'll make that. The next one I want to show you is the YouTube videos. Go ahead and click on the YouTube video and click the play button. Once you click the play button, it's small. It's like a YouTube Tamagotchi. If you were a kid in the 90s like I was, you'll see that. But when you click on the YouTube video, there should be some options above the video. Click the very center option to maximize the video's view. You can then see the video in a larger view format. Aaron, does your district block YouTube for students? Okay, I know I work with some districts that do. What's nice about the YouTube in FigJam is I've never seen an ad, though I do deeply miss those Grammarly ads. I do not see them in FigJam. Another thing is you're giving the kids just that video. I don't know how many times this happened to me, but I'd give kids the world's best learning material via YouTube video, and very soon they'd be on YouTube watching Justin Timberlake's Tiny Desk concert. So I don't know. What I like about this is it just gives them the one thing. All right, next, go over to the Google Doc. You can see me hovering over it. Go to the Google Doc and click View. Similar to the YouTube video, you'll see three options. Click the center option above or below the Google Doc, and you're now in a Google Doc. You can actually highlight text and change the color. Actually, try that. Try highlighting text, changing the color, or actually typing in something you know about the water cycle of San Luis Obispo. Or feel free to find a random spot on the Google Doc and type in what school mascot you believe is the best. I'm going to say Go Mustangs for Cal Poly. Yeah, this is a Google Doc. And what's this showing is, I don't know if you remember, like back in 2013, when we as teachers saw everyone and all these different people on a Google Doc, it was insane. It was amazing. Everyone could work together like this. Oh, we got mountain lions, pandas, its. Oh, wait, not its. And I love that FigJam is kind of an extension of that. It has a little more multiplayerness to it, more infinity, and all that stuff. Okay, so what I'm trying to point out here is that you can bring in existing materials, whether it be a Google Doc, Google Slide, and all that jazz. You can bring it right into FigJam. It can unfurl and actually be editable inside of the FigJam file. Also pretty nice for if you teach multiple grade or class periods, that it kind of limits the amount of tabs kids have. All right. Awesome. Sweet. So let's go ahead and exit out of the Google Doc by clicking minimize and then click follow. I want to bring you to another activity that's going to be kind of asynchronous. Now, activity 5, you're going to do on your own. But activity 5, I'd like you to check out this first website that I am moving over here. It's kind of dancing wildly. It's twerking or whatever. So go ahead and click on this little link. And this is going to take you to our library of FigJam templates. This is a growing list of templates. They're all free, just like FigJam is, and they'll always be free, just like FigJam will be. And you can click on these, you can use them. You can actually add templates right into the file by this little templates button and find student, there's a lot of ways to add templates, or you can click on any of these templates that are right here. Also, I'm dancing around another template that's like the best template to send students or continue practicing FigJam on your own. It is literally a lesson. So if you don't have anything planned for tomorrow, just use this, give it to kids. And this is the first lesson, how to use FigJam. It walks you through the pen tool, through sticky notes, through stamps. There's even some other fun ones, like I see Kurt over here on the Croc Charm activity. I rock Crocs all the time. For my Swifties, we got a friendship bracelet builder, all the good stuff. So please feel free to come back to this file or just go to our website, figma.com/K12education, and check out all those resources. Okay, that's there for you, but please come on back to the follow. I want to kind of close things out because we got 57 seconds left. Because I want to give Jen more than 3 minutes. I'll give you 5. All right, a couple things here. We have 3 action items for you. The first one is you can reach out to us at education@figma.com. If you have any questions, or if you want to complain to my manager, because this will actually also go directly to her, you can email education@figma.com. If you have a question on how to import your Jamboard files, or something doesn't work, or what's the best practice for classroom management, or what the heck is this thing? It's crazy. Email us. We're all former teachers. Will help you. Another thing is you can click on this link right here, or you can type this URL in, is we have a Facebook page. I have not been in the classroom for a year, though I still sub. It's not the same. Here we have a Facebook page of teachers who are using FigJam. Teachers connecting with teachers is super, super powerful. The last thing I'll say is if you want to lead a FigJam training, I see our timer's ticking. Jen, I'm going to take like 20 more seconds. I'm sorry. If you want to, you can sign up to lead a FigJam lunch and learn. If you're like, this is cool, or this has potential in my department, or for teachers I support, or for whoever, or not whoever, you can't like go to the old folks home and teach them FigJam, but I mean, I guess you could. You can sign up to run one of these trainings. There's also a Google slide over here that you can use, and this FigJam file. If you sign up for an official FigJam lunch and learn, we'll send you $100. We'll send you $100 to buy food, donuts, pizza, whatever it is, to feed the folks and feast upon the joy of not just FigJam, but also whatever you buy. So feel free to sign up there. And that is it. Jen, I think I've given you 4 minutes. The mic is yours. Thank you, everyone. This has been so, so fun.
Thank you, David.